Welcome everyone. Welcome to Inspired Conversations with Kim Evans. I am your host for today. I'm so excited. Just wanted to thank all the listeners and thank all the viewers for listening in to Inspired Conversations. I'm so excited. I have a beautiful guest today, Miss Lisa Nichols. Miss Lisa Nichols, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you, Kim. I'm really excited to be here with you. Excuse me.
I am
See
so
how excited I am?
I am so excited to have you. Miss Lisa Nichols is a two-time best-selling author. She's a Reiki Master, and she's also an EFT tapping practitioner. So I'm so excited. This is just going to be a very divine, uplifting show today. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start with a nice little prayer, and then we're going to get right into it. So Lisa, is that okay with you?
That's great, Kim.
Okay, great. So everyone, thank you so much. We just want to honor God. We just want to just say, omnipotent one, infinite wisdom, the power, our power, God. We just want to say thank you, being present. Please be present, navigate this podcast. And we just want to just give you glory and give you honor and just blessing your name. Thank Miss Lisa Nichols for her gift and what she's about to bring and how she's going to share this gift with the world. Thank you, podcast listeners. Thank you so much that are also watching. Lord, may your word go as far as the east, as far as the west, as far as the south, as far as the north. And people who hear this be transformed. May they be renewed and uplifted and inspired. Thank you so much, God. Lisa, take it away. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Great, Kim. I am a business momentum coach. And the reason I throw in that word momentum is because what I really focus on in my business coaching is what do you need to get done in your business and what's stopping you? And if you're not taking the actions, you're not taking the right actions, you're not getting the momentum in your business that you need to build the traction and build the success that you really dream of or yearn for, long for. So I focus on those two things. And when I say what's stopping you, there are two areas that we focus on. One is, you might call it know-how. So how do I update or create a website? How do I create a funnel? How do I, even the little things like how do I connect my calendar to MailChimp or something like that, right? And then on the other side, that's often where people get stuck. But another big area of where people get stuck in their business is kind of the mindset piece of it. And the beliefs, the emotions, the thought patterns that kind of bring us down, make us feel overwhelmed, make us get discouraged, even demoralized sometimes, or that just stop us from moving forward. And that's where the EFT tapping comes in. That's how I incorporate that into my business coaching.
Well, let's go back. Let's segue a little bit. Let's just go really a little bit back because you have such a powerful background. And I want the audience to know how you got to where you are right now. So let me just share just a little glimpse of your bio. And I think people can really put the two together. Is that okay? So Miss Lisa Nichols is a two-time best-selling author. And I really want to talk about your book and what you've written. Reiki Master, EFT tapping practitioner, a formal journalist, and corporate vice president. My goodness, Lisa, you are a former vice president. Is absolutely amazing. Lisa is a natural leader, having led many teams and projects and companies such as Bank of America and organizations including scouting schools in her spiritual community. Maybe that's where you got the EFT from. Using her corporate experience training in EFT and Reiki and her own personal journey, Lisa bridges the gap between the practical and the spiritual to help women entrepreneurs and professionals break through those blocks that stop them from taking action, creating momentum, and building the business they dream of. So I love that, Lisa. So how did, from becoming a vice president and working for Fortune 500 like Bank of America, how did that kind of push you forward into this direction on how you wanted to serve women?
Well, my success in the corporate world was really driven by a lot of the mindset issues that very common in women, like perfectionism,
Mm-hmm.
like feeling unsure of myself, doubting myself. And so I made up for that by working extra hard. What I did in corporate America was primarily project management
Mm-hmm.
and business analysis, which is basically figuring out solutions. And I've done operations. I've done a lot of corporate communications with my journalism background. I would just automatically fall into a lot of communications projects. And so I did, like I said, I did really well. A lot of it out of though, like feelings of unworthiness and unhappiness and just proving myself, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then at a certain point, I stopped working in corporate America and I did this and that. I had my own virtual assistant company for a little while. I was an operations manager for a nonprofit. I did a corporate, I did some book reading, book editing and proofreading. I wrote policy manuals for a corporation that I later then joined
Mm-hmm.
as an employee. Well, and it was this last time when I went into corporate America, when I found out that I'm not a good corporate employee anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've let go of a lot of those feelings of needing to be perfect and being able to buy into the corporate line and not being able to be who I truly was and wanting to be, bring the spirituality, bring who I am, bring the softness and the harmony and all of that. And instead, I was in a fintech company that was highly male, highly young male,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
excuse me. And I just am not good in that environment anymore. And so I left that job and immediately out of the blue, then very next day, out of the blue, I got this thought, I need to become an EFT practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really a big EFT person then. I'd known about it for years, yes, through my spiritual community, but I'd never really done it that much. So it was a really kind of an odd calling. But I thought, okay, I heard you. I heard the big voice. So I immediately researched programs, training programs, and within about 8 months, I was certified as an EFT practitioner.
Love it.
So then I thought, okay, I'm certified. I know how to do EFT, but I don't know how to build a practice. So I looked around and I found this program that was a book writing, personal development, and business development program.
Mm-hmm.
And I went it was based in DC. So I went to DC and they were like, okay, what are you going to write about? And I wanted to write about women who looked really successful, but on the inside, they were a mess. There was a lot of drama because I knew that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they kept saying, everyone wants to write books about women in transition who need more self-love. And those books don't sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, well, I guess because I had gone through the experience of having a difficult teenager, I said I could write a book for moms of out of control teens.
Ooh.
So my first book is called Surviving Your Out of Control Teen. And so I focused my coaching then on moms of teenagers.
Okay.
And then I wrote a second book. It's called Crazy Little Thing Called Teens.
Nice.
Yeah. So for a couple of years, that was my focus. And the thing is, though, it never really lit me up.
Okay.
It was the topic was chosen for me, right, through this program. And I tried really hard. And yet it was never going to work because it never really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working with my own business coach, I finally gave myself permission to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And to find something that does light me up and that I love to do. And, I'm coming from a niche where sometimes I would think when I had a client call coming up, I'd think maybe they won't come,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty telling. So, and now I'm like, oh, I need more clients because I want to do more coaching. So it's like night and day. And so my journey to being here, I think reflects a lot of like my clients, you know, that I've worked with people who have a niche and they just, or they just can't figure out a niche, you know, it doesn't work for them, or they just can't figure it out, or they just can't commit themselves fully to it. They know it's the right niche, but for whatever reason, they can't commit themselves to it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's amazing how our story becomes our mastery. Our story becomes our
yes.
glory. Our story becomes really our fueling of who we are to become, and helping others in the process, which is so important to tell your story. So from that, what was your most defining moment when you just said, okay, it's so clear, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to serve?
The defining moment came when just, you know, I'd been struggling to get clients, and the defining moment came. So I think changed my mind, my pivot. I decided to pivot like in Thursday. Well, Monday, over the weekend, I was in a webinar, because everything was on Zoom at the time. And I saw someone, how she was responding to some things. And I just reached out to her and said, hey, would you like to talk? And she said yes. And then we talked on Monday, and she's like, you know, I've spent so much, and I was just so excited. And she's like, I have spent so much money on coaches this year. It hasn't been working. I'm still not getting clients. My company's not taking off. And I don't know my niche. And she was like, I really don't want to spend any more money. My cards are maxed out, but I'm going to give you a chance. And I honestly believe it's because I had that energy of, I love this. I'm so excited to do this. So we worked together, and she knew her niche. She got very clear on her niche, and it was just awesome. She wrote a great testimonial for me, and so it was very telling to me that within days of me switching my niche, I had a client.
Look, that's normally how it works. That's normally how it works. When you put yourself in the frequency of what you are desiring, things begin to line up, and the universe has to say yes to what you are wanting once you're clear to what that purpose is. And so I see when you pivoted, it became so clear of where you were going and how you were going to serve. And look, you got your first client. So how long did you work with her?
I can't remember if it was 4 weeks or 6 weeks,
Nice.
but it was just a short time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So therefore you have rapid transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's even better. So now, how does EFT come into this? And then bridge the gap of Reiki, because the two are very, very powerful. But before we do that, why don't we define with the audience, what is EFT?
Great, we will do that. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's also called tapping because we literally tap on our bodies, on energy points in our bodies as part of the modality. And EFT has been around since the 1980s. It's becoming more and more accepted, more and more prevalent, commonplace. A lot of therapists are becoming EFT tappers too, to help their clients. There's been over 100 studies, including meta studies, there we go, that prove the efficacy of EFT tapping from anything from sugar cravings to PTSD. And there's one study in particular that I think is amazing. Something like 84% of veterans had their PTSD symptoms either completely or partially cleared through just a very short term of tapping time, just a short time of tapping. 84%. That's a huge number.
That is huge. I know how effective it is. When I was working on my master's degree at John F. Kennedy in holistic health and nutrition, we had a class in it. And then my classmates specialized in it. And one of my classmates, very particular, she was a master of EFT. So here it is right before we would do our exams, right? And, our testing. I'd be like, Stina, I'm nervous. I need some help. She says, okay, what are you thinking? We go through those tapping points. And I would go like this. And I would go like this. And I would go. And then moments, it'd just clear up. I mean, Every time. Thank you, Stina. I mean, she brought me through it, and I used it. I lived it. I saw it. I got the results. That stuff really, really works. I love it. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to have at least a few moments of give us a demonstration of that
Absolutely.
before. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm so excited. And then now define Reiki. Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki 3, or just general Reiki that you integrate.
Yeah, Reiki is again working with the energy systems. Both of them are part of what's called energy psychology.
Okay.
And again, it's working with the subtle energy systems within the body. And it's can be hands-on, but it can also be done long distance. And it's
Yes.
just aligning and getting the energy in your body, which is called ki in the Japanese tradition, not chi in the Chinese tradition, but Reiki is from the Japan, and so it's called ki. And getting it aligned, I especially like to use it with chakras.
Mm.
If on myself especially, and so it's not necessarily like part of the Reiki that the chakra piece of it, because chakras comes from the Chinese tradition. But I personally like to do chakra work with Reiki.
I
It's
love
very
it.
powerful.
I love it. And when you said you actually incorporate, I says that is just that's major. I mean, I incorporate Reiki in my massage practice
Oh,
all day,
neat.
every day. Yeah, I love it. I do it on my
Ah,
clients, and sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it. But then I have some clients that just come in and they just want Reiki, and we do that too. So I love the way that you're integrating Reiki with EFT and business coaching. I
yeah.
think that is phenomenal. So now that you have found what lights you up, Miss Lisa, what is your next?
My what?
What is your next? What is
Oh,
your
my.
what is your next? Now that you found the sweet spot and helping women to get past their breakthroughs, what's next for you? What's next for you on the horizon?
It is to broaden my reach. It is
Mhm.
to do more programs. I did one recently called What Megan Trainor Can Teach You About Building Your Business. If you
Nice.
know Megan Trainor, the singer.
Okay.
And so I took one of her songs and each one and then showed how that could relate to your business. So she has a song called No. And it's basically about she's at a bar and a guy approaches her and she's like, my name is No. My number is no. My sign is no. And so I related that then to how do you say no in your business? Why should you say no to what happens if you're not saying no to
Yes.
the right things in your business?
Yes.
So I took that and I love doing fun, creative things like that.
Oh, I love that.
And yeah, so we danced at the beginning of each, session. And then another song that I did, can't remember the song's name off the top of my head, but it was about giving yourself permission. So
Mm-hmm.
giving yourself permission to make more money, giving
Mm-hmm.
yourself permission to having your own back, giving
Absolutely.
your giving yourself permission not to listen to everyone else, but to listen to yourself when it comes to running your own business.
Wow. And on that note,
Yes.
our topic is that you're going to discuss is how to succeed in business by being true to yourself. And how do we as women do that?
That's a big thing. You
What is the
know,
process or the beginning process to, how to be true to yourself so that you can be successful in your business?
yes, absolutely. I also like to think of it as like having your own back.
Yes.
So what does having your own back mean? Or let's do it the opposite. What does not having your own back mean? It means that you doubt your abilities.
Right.
It means you can't speak about what you do because
Okay.
you get flustered, your tongue gets thick because you're unsure of yourself, you lack confidence,
Mm.
you downplay maybe like what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
or another way is everything else is more important than really your business, you know.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of ways that when we come into our business, we think, oh, this is going to be great. And then, being in business brings up all of our stuff.
It
It's kind
does.
of like it
Yes,
does.
it does. It does. A lot of stuff. And I can see where EFT would help with that stuff. And so when it comes up, and feeling those emotions, because those emotions drive those feelings, and those feelings drive those behaviors and actions. I can see how you can really go deeply and clear that, or to help
Yes.
women. And it's just amazing, Lisa, because those are obstacles that create hindrances and blockages in our business. So let's take one example. A client comes to you, and you're walking them work through, say, money in their business, how to gain and how to get more clients. We're coming out of a pandemic. We're coming out of COVID. Many businesses have closed. Many business closed permanently. Many were just closed temporarily. I know myself in personal services, we really gotten a beating. So now we're coming out of that. There were other businesses that were not affected, but we're going to talk about those that were affected. And so, as a solo entrepreneur, as a women business owner, and if they're coming to you and say they need now more clients, make more money, but the fear on how to do that, or the fear of being unworthy, or the fear or how I'm going to make it, because we just came out of this traumatic national experience. How can you even begin to break that down?
Well, we really, the first step is to look at what do we want to accomplish. So let's say they do want to get more clients, and so we talk about how did they get clients before, what was successful, how would they like to do it now, what's comfortable for them. Like if you hate Facebook, don't go on Facebook. There's always other ways to do it.
Yes.
So finding the way that is good for you.
Okay.
And then let's actually take Facebook Lives as an example.
Okay.
Let's say they know that Facebook Lives is very powerful. It's a great way to get engagement and get people to know you, build credibility, etc. But they hate seeing themselves on camera.
Okay. Perfect example.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we would do is I would have them sit and close their eyes, and I would have them tap on this collarbone point right here. It's not on the collarbone, it's just below it in the little soft spot. And so I would say, just close your eyes, settle in, close your eyes.
Okay, so let's
right
go
there.
So let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. I'll be the example. You tell me what to do.
Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes. Really feel settled, really feel supported in your chair. If you want, take a deep breath, a nice little breath. Now just tap on that collarbone point. This is where the thymus, the master gland of the body, is. Okay, and now ask yourself, when did this begin? When did this first begin? When did I first start hating to see myself on camera?
Mm-hmm.
And if something comes up, great. If nothing does, that's okay too. So then if something comes up, then I ask them to stop and to tell me what came up for them.
I think what came up for me is when I first started, I was very, very nervous. Very, very nervous.
Okay, so go ahead and stay with it. Keep your eyes closed and say, why was I so nervous? When did this begin?
Oh, I have an answer.
Great.
Not knowing content, not knowing how much content or the type of content to present to my audience.
Great. So good. So you can stop. So having gotten that answer, then we would either do the tapping, or we would do, kind of the coaching piece of it, or we would do both. So for example,
let's do the tapping. Let's do it.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
So I might make some. I would ask more questions usually, like
right.
How do you feel and stuff like that. But we'll just go ahead and do a quick tapping.
Okay.
Okay. So let me walk through the tapping points really quick. Okay. So the very first time when you do the setup statement, you're tapping on the karate chop point. So it's just below the joint with the little finger, and it doesn't matter which hand you use. It can be either one. And the setup statement is, even though, and you describe your issue that you're working with. And then, so even though I get nervous, whatever it is, right? And then you end it with some kind of acknowledgement that that's how you feel right now.
Okay, I got
And
it.
so the one I usually use is I deeply love and completely accept myself.
Yep, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a lot of people start, a lot of other EFT practitioners start elsewhere. I was trained to start on the top of the head.
Okay.
So, and then the next point is the above the eye, which is on the eyebrow,
Okay.
next to the nose. So actually on this inner corner, not the, yeah, the inner corner of the eyebrow. So like right here, there you go. Right next to the nose on the inner corner of the eyebrow.
Okay.
The side of the eye, which is the bone next to your eye.
Okay.
Under the eye.
Okay.
Under the nose.
Okay.
On the crease of the chin.
Okay.
Then the collarbone point.
Okay.
And then under the arm,
yeah,
like where your bra strap goes. Mm-hmm. And then you start over.
Okay. Got it.
So, and if I usually also throw in the bottom of the ribs and the top of the wrist and the bottom of the wrist, but this is kind of the basic recipe that most EFT practitioners use. So if I go to the ribs or the wrist, it's because out of habit. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me ask one more thing. Okay. So before we start, we also get what I call an intensity level. They call it a SUDS level. So if you think about being nervous about how much content you should give your clients, what number would you give it from 0 to 10, with 0 being 0 intensity and 10 being highly intense?
0 meaning less, or yes. or 10 yes. being I feel very confident I don't have that issue.
0 is no intensity, 10 being that's driving me crazy.
Okay, I would say that a 5.
Okay.
5, that's okay?
Yeah, great.
Right in the middle.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start tapping. And so as I talk, you'll be repeating after me out loud. Yeah. But if something resonates more with you, like if I say I'm angry and you're like, no, I'm hurt, then say I'm hurt.
Oh no, I just changed that. I said 8. That's kind of high. Producing content. No, I got a clear 8 there.
Yeah,
so change that to 8.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's do it. So even though I'm really nervous.
Even though I'm really nervous.
About how much content to produce.
About how much content to produce.
Is it also around the content itself?
Yes.
Yeah. And what kind of content to produce?
The value of the content to produce.
Yeah. I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Great. Top of the head. It's nerve-wracking to me.
It's nerve-wracking to me.
To know how much content to produce.
How much content to produce.
And how to make it really valuable.
And how to make it really valuable.
I get so nervous.
I get so nervous.
When I think about it.
Think about it.
Yeah. When I first began this podcasting thing.
When I first began this podcast thing.
I had no idea what I was doing.
I had no idea. Really, I didn't. I had no idea.
So it was nerve-wracking to even think about what to produce.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking to think about what to produce.
It makes me anxious.
Makes me anxious.
I was called to do this.
I was called to do this.
And I'm committed to doing it.
And I'm committed to doing it.
But it's still nerve-wracking.
But it's still nerve-wracking.
Yeah. There are so many podcasts out there.
There are so many podcasts out there.
How do I make mine excellent?
How do I make mine excellent?
Under the arm. I'm not a writer or a, I'm not a...
Not Oprah. Not a
yeah.
writer.
I'm not a content creator. I'm
a massage.
Yeah. So how am I supposed to know?
How am I supposed to know?
Yeah. I do it anyway.
I do it anyway.
It's still nerve-wracking.
Still nerve-wracking.
Still makes me anxious.
Still makes me anxious.
I hope I'm doing a good job.
I hope I'm doing a good job.
Even though I'm nervous.
Even though
I'm trying to be in tune with what might make sense for you. Like, what else would you say? Like when you sit down, you're at the camera, what comes up for you?
I'm confident I'm going to do it, and it's going to be amazing.
There you go. So it's beforehand when you're thinking about it.
Yes.
Great. So is this nervousness a horrible thing?
No.
Does it make you keep you on your toes?
Yes.
Is it a message to you?
Yes.
Is it okay that you're nervous?
Yes.
So even though I question myself sometimes,
Even though I question myself sometimes,
and I think maybe I don't know what I'm doing,
and I think maybe I don't know what I'm doing,
it's not, you know, that's just my mind chatter.
okay, it's my mind chatter.
Yeah.
Okay.
In actuality, I'm very confident in what I do.
And I'm very confident in what I do.
And I know I can do amazing.
And I know I can do amazing.
If I just follow my heart,
If I just follow my heart,
follow the guidance that comes from me from spirit,
follows the guidance that come from me from spirit,
there's no stopping me.
there's no stopping me.
So I'm okay being nervous.
I'm okay being nervous. Wow, that feels good.
Does it?
Yes, that feels really good. I am not tripping. Before we started, it was like, oh my God, I got to put all this together. Now it's like, let's roll with it. This is great. What just happened? What just happened? It's like, okay, I know that I can be anxious, but the anxious is a fuel. It's meant for something for me. And it's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a good place.
So on that scale of 0 to 10 now, what number would you give it?
I would probably give it a 3 or 2.
Mm-hmm. So if we were working together, what I would do is say, okay, what's still there?
Yeah.
It would be like, woohoo, we still get to do a little bit more tapping. So then we would tap on whatever else comes up until we actually got to a 0, until you were completely neutral to it.
Nice. I love that. See, just right there, just in that small amount of time, we got a shift, and that's major. And that lets you know how effective EFT is.
Yeah.
The Reiki piece of it, when you're working with the client, how do you interweave that?
It's really almost like a bonus thing. Like if they would just like a little bit of just feeling more in their body, more relaxed in their body, more balanced, etc. Yeah, which EFT also does. Right. You know, it also can really make you, I know when I do EFT a lot, I feel both really, really grounded in my body and really, really, ebullient, if that's the right, I think that's the right word, but like lots of energy and excitement, but also still really grounded in my body. And that's where Reiki can also help.
I get it. It's kind of sort of like that additional tool, if you will, if you need to go into your toolbox to use it. So you kind of add that piece of it and it becomes like a beautiful bonus. So I totally get that. So Lisa, share a little bit about your packages or your programs and how you help women and how they can get in contact with you. How can they, or more so how they can begin to work with you? Share a little bit about that.
Okay, great. Well, appropriately, I think enough, my company is called Tapping Into Your True Self. And so do you want me to start over?
Oh, no, that was just a timer. We're good.
Okay, good. Right now I'm offering 2 packages, and one is short-term. So let's say you have a short-term project that you want to get done, or you have a specific block that you want to work with. So I can have an 8-week program of weekly calls with me, 1-hour calls. Nice. And or if you really want to delve deep and get your business like either completely pivoted or really dig deep in how you're doing your business and how you're showing up in your business, then I also have a 6-month program. And they can you can find out more information on my website, which is tappingintoyourtrueself.com.
Okay.
And
I like that. So your first package is 8 weeks. Someone can work with you for 8 weeks, and it's a weekly call with you.
Yes.
It's a virtual weekly call. How long are the calls?
1 hour.
Calls 1 hour for 8 weeks. So that's almost like a 60-day program that you have. And then your second package is 6 months.
Yes. And that is three calls per month. So you do get 1 week off.
Right, right.
So, it'd be really hard to do 4 weeks for 6 months, right? Yeah. So you do get 1 week to kind of integrate and catch up and get things done that we've been talking about getting done and things like that. Yeah.
Thank you. That's nice. And I'm actually going to put that information on the website so that people can just click into it. And what actually the bonus that you were offering that you would like to share with ladies if they go to your website or they seek maybe a virtual call? I think you were mentioning that you wanted to offer, what was your special offer that you would like to offer the clients if they're interested in working with you?
Yeah, well, I always have a complimentary 45-minute talk discussion with us. I call it busting your barriers in your business breakthrough call. Okay. And in that, we get really clear, like where you're at, where you want to go, and you'll get tips for how to get there. And there's, it's complimentary. It's no obligation to continue working with me. I'm also have a download that's called, it just popped out of my head. It's called How to Get Stuff Done in Your Business. So in this download, it talks about kind of my process for how I do project management, how I have successfully completed hundreds and hundreds of projects as a corporate person, as a volunteer in my own business. And it talks, it does talk about the tactical way of doing small projects or big projects in your business, but also then kind of about that mindset piece of it and how you can, some tips for how you can move through some of the blocks that are keeping you from being able to move forward.
I love that. Oh my God, Lisa, that is so generous. And you just hit a key there, mindset. Let's quickly just talk about that before we end. That is so pivotal in helping any woman shift out of the darkness into the light. Why is working on mindset or shifting your mindset so important?
Well, again, because the things that block us, oftentimes we don't even know that they're there. We don't even know. For example, we don't even know we have a belief, for example, that people with money are jerks. Okay. If we have that belief, we don't want our business to succeed, to financially or be prosperous, because we don't want to be a jerk. Mm-hmm. Or, if you don't like promoting yourself. When we were little kids, how many times were we told, sit down, shut up, you're being too loud, you're sometimes some of us were said, you're too much. We were told you're too much, be quiet. If you're a quiet one, maybe you got a lot of accolades because you were compliant and quiet. And so you learn to be the good girl and to be quiet, Well, we don't even think about how those things can end up impacting us from being able to actually take action in our businesses and be successful. Mm-hmm. And we, it's there, it's in the background, but we don't realize it. So it's where mindset really changing your mindset and looking at those thought patterns, the beliefs, the emotional triggers can change everything.
And sometimes I know 8 weeks is not enough time because as you are uncovering, you're discovering at the same time. You're uncovering and you're discovering in your process. So after someone signs up with you for 8 weeks and you discover like, you know what, we need a little more work here, then what do you do after that?
Well, I can offer to make those 8 weeks part of the 6 months and apply whatever they paid for the 8 weeks towards the 6 months ones. Because of course, the longer you work, the price goes down kind of thing, of course. But then we can also look at it on a case-by-case basis,
I just think this is the season that if you're looking to shift and build a very successful business or to expand, that getting help is a great asset, and having a coach, having a mentor coach. And Lisa Nichols is one of those coaches that ladies that you can reach out to. Is there anything that you would like to add before we close out and to share with the audience, Miss Lisa?
Well, I do one way, a quick way for people to give themselves a little bit of a break is the phrase, I give myself permission to.
I love it.
Like if, we were taught from school and working in corporate or wherever we worked, you don't take naps in the middle of the afternoon. Well, if you're your own boss and you're feeling tired, tell yourself, I give myself permission to rest for 15 minutes. Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned that. I had a client that came in today. We were talking about homes and just having additional help and hiring a professional cleaning service to come in to assist you with your home cleaning is okay. It's okay to have permission to do that. I give myself permission to have help so that I can enjoy the comforts of my home to hire a home cleaning service. And I think that's beautiful. Or better yet, let's make it more applicable. I give myself permission to hire a VA to help me in my business, to move it forward. I know I've had that conversation with ladies. It's like, should I get a VA? Should I not get a VA? It's like, no, I'm not there yet. I haven't hit the mark. It's like, but if you get a VA, that VA can help you even more quickly reach the mark. So again, it goes back to mindset. So I love that. I give myself permission to. Well, Miss Lisa, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. I actually would put those links, those 2 links. And could you go back? I want to just, if you could just really repeat the 2 books that you wrote, because I think we have moms that listen would say, hey, I think I want to get her book. What are the 2 books about teens that you wrote again?
The first one I wrote is Surviving Your Out of Control Teens.
Okay.
The second one is more kind of generally parenting of teens. Okay. And it's called Crazy Little Thing Called Teens. Okay. And they are tapping books.
Nice. Well, I'm going to list those too, because we have a lot of avid readers and we do have moms that are listening, and also that is a part of my group. And for ladies, for those of you who have not joined my Facebook group, Lady Boss Women, please, I'm going to have that link so that you can join the group, and also the link below will be in there as well. So Miss Lisa, thank you very much for watching. Audience, thank you so much for watching. This is Kim Evans with Inspired Conversations. And if you have any questions, or you would like to schedule a virtual complimentary success business call with me, you can do so. And then I'm going to leave my link also in the description. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. God bless. And may your business continue to prosper, and you help millions of women around the world.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you much for watching. Bye for now.